Okay, what we're working on here today is the, I think they call that the chimney. This is the fresh air feed into the Z car's AC, HVAC system, if you will. There's been a lot of reported issues about these things being all rusty and allowing leakage into the cowl area. So I just said I want to get ahead of this, and as you can see, there is some areas here of concern of mine. I don't know what that is. Well, there's a big chunk of something. I'm not sure where that came from. I don't know. It's like a big piece of, you know what it is? I bet you this actually feels like a piece of the of a molding of some kind, but I can't see where it came from. But anyway, well, the point is this body seal, this sealant right around here is cracked in some areas, and there was actually a missing chunk at one point, but I'm worried about the cracks. But overall, the chimney's in excellent shape. There's no rust through of any kind whatsoever. I used my inspection camera here to look back behind it. I'm not going to do that because I can't do that with one hand. But anyway, I used the inspection camera, and there's some leaves and some debris back there that I'm not able to get at even with my vacuum, so I'm going to get the compressed air out later and blow that out. But make sure that's all cleaned up. And then I'm probably going to come from the inside here and use some sealant to seal it from the inside. And then I'll probably come along the outside and see if I can. I have some butyl body seal that I'll probably chunk this off a little bit first if it's not solidly attached. So I want to get this straight. It's in pretty good shape. It's pretty solid. So if it's still sticking really well, I'll just flow some fresh stuff over it. Try to prevent any dams. Like for instance, right there, there's a pocket because you see it's actually surrounded by the sealant, so water would just sit there and pool. So a couple things I want to do. I'm going to freshen up that sealant, make sure I don't have any pockets for standing water, and it's going to be really hard to do back behind there. I guess there's really not much I can do about that. It's going to be really hard to get at and see. I'll do the best I can. I don't know. And I'll also, like I said, I'll also seal it from the inside here. But yeah, it looks pretty good. To get at it, I had to remove the cover plate. This thing right here. Okay. It goes on something like, well, like that. Yeah. Actually, it has to go in underneath. Like this. And it goes back up, and it's on right there, like that. It was spot welded, so to get it off, I used a handy dandy spot weld cutter. I think that's a 1/4 inch spot weld cutter. It only cuts through this top layer of metal here, but it doesn't cut through this. I mean, it puts a little divots there, but they're pretty flat. And what I'll probably do is I'll clean the rust off there, of course. I'll put some sealant along the bottom of it. Then I'll drill some pilot holes, and I'll use some stainless steel sheet metal screws to re-screw it. I probably won't even use all these. Just, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. That and the sealant I think should be sufficient to hold it in place. Just think about the next guy, whoever wants to get around there and check it out. While I'm in here, you'll notice there's a considerable amount of surface rust. But that's all it is. It's very good metal. Because I guess just the paint underneath it, which I'm not even sure what it is. That's like a, I don't know if that's the original paint or what. It's not the right color. I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, I'll get in here and put some of that you know, paint on rust stuff that converts this to It's got iron oxide and go through all this to get all that cleaned up. But the first thing I need to do, and just to protect it so it won't keep rusting, but the main thing I was concerned about, like I said, is this chimney, which is a problem with these. It causes leaks into the firewall down. The biggest problem is it leaks on the inside of the firewall, which rolls down into the floor pans and rusts those out. I've been pretty lucky with this car so far. It was originally a California car. It spent some time in Georgia, but when it was in Georgia, I guess it was kept fairly well out of the weather because I haven't found any serious rust issues whatsoever. In fact, I've only found a few places of surface rust here and there. So, plan is to fix that with the new, clean it up, blow it out. I'll use my compressed air. I'll blow. Blow some of the trash out behind. Make sure it's as clean as I can get it. Come back with some butyl sealant, probably the same stuff I use on the windshield around the inside here, so because it really flows well. And then on the outside here, I'll get some of the heavier body seam sealer that I have, butyl seam sealer, and try to seal this up as well as possible. I just don't know how the heck they ever did it, unless this was installed before being joined to the firewall. I don't really know how they ever sealed that thing originally. God, I'd almost want to get some rope caulk of some kind that I could just kind of push back into place. I don't know. I have to think about that a little bit. But at least now, in fact, I don't. Yeah, you want to seal it because you don't want it leaking, dropping down here. You don't want any water sitting here, dropping down there. At least now, in fact, I might even make a cork washer. Wouldn't that be neat? I got some gasket material. I could make a gasket that'll fit around here. And that way I could take it off and, you know, whatever. Be just to inspect it if I ever needed to do that. I think I'll do that. Rather than seal it, I'll make a gasket that'll fit around here. Then I'll use sheet metal screws to secure it down. Anyway, I got some more work here, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any leak issues, and that's a biggie. And more later.